Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us today for our last session, our last webinar about digitalising care, helping providers go digital. Today's presenters. So today I'm joined by the lovely Annette, the Client Manager for Ireland.
Hi, everybody. You're all very welcome.
And myself, Gemma Manderson, I'm a Client Manager for the UK. So a little bit about Espirico. It's just over 17 years old and was established out of personal experience to build a solution with the person at the centre. Since its inception, Airplanet has partnered with providers, commissioning bodies and inspectorate teams to ensure the best could be achieved. The team is largely made up of professionals who have a vast experience within the care sector. We are very much a value-based driven organisation. This is the fourth webinar in our Digitalising the Future of Care series, exploring how iPlanet is at the forefront of the digital revolution in the social care and in the UK and Ireland. In the first webinar, we looked at how iPlanet puts people at the heart of their care and support, with a unique architecture built around the person and their outcomes, and how digitalisation offers a real chance to move beyond the time and task and to become more person-centred. We also looked at the person portal, promoting inclusion and ownership for the people supported. We then looked at the configurability and options within iPlanet, allowing specialist services to build a system best suited to their needs. In the last webinar, we looked at using iPlanet in real life, the ease of use in delivering and recording care for frontline staff and for managers to monitor and evidence quality and safety. All of the recordings of the previous webinars in this series are available, and if you haven't received them already, we'll provide contact details at the end of this webinar. Today's topic. We're going to be having a look at the benefits of going digital and what using iPlanet looks like in everyday service. Today, we are looking at the journey, transitioning from paper to digital systems, based on the questions we are commonly asked by providers. So providers often ask, we've chosen a system, but we have no idea about what to happen next. So Annette, where do we start?
Well, Gemma, our proven approach is called Steps to Success. It is a methodology that Espirico have used for over a decade to ensure successful implementation and rollout of iPlanet customer systems. It is adaptable and flexible, designed to suit the specific needs of each customer, whether you're a single service local provider or a multi-site cross-border provider. Our approach caters for small and the larger organisations. So before we take a look at the process in detail, there are a few things that clients can do to ensure that the implementation goes smoothly. Firstly, I would say establish a project team, not too big, but with sufficient members to represent your organisation. Choose staff who have an interest or skill in that area. Best to nominate a team leader to assist and drive decision making and ensure commitment of this resource to the project. Requirements gathering, very important. Consider how you do things now and how you can streamline and make your processes efficient. Consider it as an opportunity to refresh and streamline your processes. As you go through the configuration process, try and provide feedback and follow up on actions assigned to you according to deadlines. And very importantly, start preparing your teams for the change. I would say, Gemma, that communication is key to ensuring success from the start and really embedding that positive change that a solution like iPlanet can bring. Communicate internally with key stakeholders to ensure their buy-in and top-down endorsement. Keep them updated regularly. Looking at the approach in more detail, so what does the Steps to Success process involve? Really, it breaks down the implementation process into manageable segments that we guide our clients through at an appropriate pace and in a measured way, tailored really to suit them, but while still maintaining that progress. Clients will see traction from the outset. We start with creating and configuring the core and optional modules that a client has requested. We apply client requirements to their iPlanet system, giving them ample time to test and review internally. We gather their feedback and refine it until their iPlanet system is ready to be signed off. We will then work together with our clients to prepare a rollout and system training plan to suit their organisation, their resources, and of course, their timescales. Once a client system is live, we help embed it within their organisation by activating our post-rollout support programme. I suppose, Gemma, what is really unique about the Aspirco approach is our consultative partnership methodology, which really underpins each of these steps. Our client management team have a wealth of project management experience and it will advise and guide every step of the way. But in addition to this, most of our client management team, including yourself, have direct social care experience. This experience is really invaluable when preparing providers and their teams for the cultural change that may be experienced in going digital and overcoming any barriers that may arise.
My background is in residential elderly care, where we was a heavily paper-based organisation, and I can understand that it's a big cultural change going digital and some of the potential barriers that might occur. How can we overcome those?
Well, Gemma, I suppose from our experience working with providers down through the years, there are a variety of proven tips or best practice advice which come to mind to help avoid those barriers in the first place. I would say from the start, provide input and agree a rollout plan. A phased or managed rollout is recommended. In the context of iPlanet, for example, start with building the profile, notes and logs, progressing on then to support plans and optional modules. This gives a provider quick wins, but without putting pressure on internal resources. Quite important also is to consider the resources that you have to support your implementation and rollout. Start this thought process early so they are in place then when you need to tap into their experience. Once configuration is complete and you are putting your go-live plans in place with your iPlanet Client Manager, we recommend establishing a champions team. A champions team are a group of your internal staff who will support other team members during rollout, support training new staff and providing that ongoing support. They really serve as the go-to experts at your organisation. They may be, for example, staff from different roles across the board who show a particular interest or skill in this area and digital systems. Launch a communication plan internally to create hype and buzz. Let staff know that positive change is coming, and with that, encourage that positive change culture. Accountability at location manager level is very important. Be sure to encourage that at that location manager level and also at regional manager level. It's essential to a smooth adoption of any system and high rates of adoption. Consider your roles and system access privileges. Think about staff's duties. What access will they have or they will need to the system to enable them to support their service users? Consider your GDPR policies. Our client managers guide clients through this step by step, and you will have a chance to test and refine. Something which might seem a bit obvious are devices and connectivity, but it's extremely important to make sure and double check that you have sufficient devices at each location and available for all staff members that are using the system. That might be laptops, PCs or tablets, whatever suits your organisation. And also test out the Wi-Fi and make sure it is available for staff. Just looking at training, Gemma, we would suggest that providers work with their client manager to put a plan in place. Ask themselves, what do they need to put a training plan together? Do they need in-person training or online training? What kind of numbers are we talking about? Do you need to facilitate part-time staff holidays, varying shift patterns? Consider the resources that you have available. The planning client managers will provide advice on best practice according to your needs and your organisation structure. And lastly, really on that point, Gemma, I would think seriously about identifying a system admin. This is a person who would be the system owner post-rollout and the main point of contact for iPlanet, and also a main point of contact for staff, where staff can go to for help and to troubleshoot any queries, and also for knowledge sharing.
We all have such busy work lives. How can we ensure that staff are supported to learn to use the system?
Our approach to training, of course, covers the practical elements of using the system in a variety of ways, and also to getting the most out of your iPlanet system. But we have also found that there are additional simple tools and processes that you can put in place to really drive positive culture and embed a solution like iPlanet, ensuring adoption across your teams. For example, guidance documents. We encourage clients to put together some simple notes to advise staff on how to use the system to support internal processes. These will complement the system training. Make training recordings available. Consider then how you will share them or host them internally, for example, to support new staff inductions. I referred to it earlier, a phased or managed rollout is what we recommend. This helps staff to get used to the new system in manageable segments, laying the foundation for the next phase as appropriate. I would also really encourage staff to use the system straight away after training while content is still fresh. Be sure to give staff access to all knowledge portals, for example, the iPlanet Learning Centre, our bite-sized video tutorials and best practice clinics, and of course, your own resources. Ensure from the outset you know who is responsible for everyday tasks, such as adding new staff profiles, adding new service users, training new staff, for example, or monitoring staff logins and usage, and of course, simple things like resetting passwords. Make iPlanet part of the working day. Consider what systems or processes are you replacing, what processes are you enhancing, and ensure all staff are aware of those changes. Very important, I think, Gemma, is making sure that you highlight what quick wins and tangible benefits are available to staff immediately once they log on to iPlanet. And that could be the logging and accessing of support notes for shift handover, checking how the night went, how the previous day went for people that they support, preparing for review meetings, or checking out when a support plan has been updated and what that information is. Also, using iPlanet to prepare for internal meetings and to create metrics.
So now we're going to roll out a new system. How can we keep the momentum going?
Well, keeping that momentum up is very important. At Ispirico, we encourage our clients to keep in touch regularly with their client manager. This helps them keep up to date with new functionality, share information together about industry or sector changes, and maintaining that partnership approach. Steering meetings, which can take place potentially on a quarterly basis, are an excellent way to capture new requirements that you might have and discuss them with your client manager and put a plan in place to execute them. Again, I'm referring back to the Champions team. I can't stress how important this team is. Keep this team, Champions team, alive and trained in the loop post-rollout, not just for the training phase. Something which works very well for providers across our scope are setting up open question sessions for staff to raise queries. Collect their questions and share those learnings with staff. This is something useful that could be done maybe on a weekly basis initially, and then tapered off once your teams are up to speed. I would encourage providers to use the management tools that are on offer. In the context of iPlanet, alerts that show overdue plans, referrals pending, for example, open incidents. Use data export tools to pull down meaningful data for your further analysis and action. Check in with the system dashboard regularly. This is ideal for one-to-ones with staff. You have access to invaluable information really at your fingertips. Also, very important to do a sense check of your iPlanet system on a regular basis. You know, ask yourself, does it need any new fields or areas to capture information, for example? Have you new reporting requirements that need to be submitted to governing bodies? And does this new requirement impact how your iPlanet system is set up? You know, contact your client manager to have a discussion about that. Also, regular data checks for staff and service users. Very simply, ask yourself, are their profiles up to date? Do you need to change any information there? Also, very importantly, Gemma, I would say it's always good to acknowledge staff progress and highlight it.
Definitely, Annette. We need to celebrate achievement. So looking at partnership and support, what can people expect after rollout?
Well, after rollout, we continue on the iPlanet journey with you. We maintain our partnership approach, which we established at the beginning. As part of our commitment to our clients, we have a comprehensive support program in place. And this consists of the wraparound team, which comprises of your client manager, your system expert, your international client management director, and your development team. This team are available to our clients on an ongoing basis post-rollout. As mentioned before, we will arrange steering meetings and quarterly reviews for you to tap into. We provide annual system upgrades, which are a great way to avail of new functionality and performance enhancements. We have our knowledge portals, including the iPlanet Learning Centre, bite-sized YouTube tutorials, complemented also by our monthly best practice clinics. And the clinics are where we focus on a different topic each month, ranging from information on new modules to tips on how to get the most out of your iPlanet system. Also, very importantly, our help desk, support@aspirco.com, is available to all our clients on a 24/7 basis for any queries that might arise. I suppose finally, Gemma, something I would like to stress is we have an open door policy at Aspirco. Feedback from our clients is welcome and encouraged. It is incorporated into the development of new functionality and is really important to our innovation roadmap.
Thanks, Annette. That was really helpful in taking the unknown out of the transition from paper to digital. The Steps to Success approach really highlights the manageability of the project structure. You also provided some great information post-rollout on what clients can expect in terms of support and follow-up. If you have any further questions, please contact us on inquiry@aspiraco.com. You can also access our webpage, aspiraco.com, and you can find us on LinkedIn as Aspiraco and on X, previously known as Twitter, @iPlanet. Thank you all for joining us today, and I hope you found that useful. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.